tower, and that's in memory of the 60 years on the throne, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012. Now, if you look between the two main rows of windows, you'll see coats of arms. These coats of arms date back to William the Conqueror, 1078, right the way through the reign to Queen Victoria, 1852. The green and white tent and the red and white tent are entertainment tents for the guests here during the summertime. These buildings are home to the House of Lords and the House of Commons. They are the main meeting rooms here at Parliament. Now, if you follow the building all the way to the end and then look up to the right, you'll see the tall square tower with a flag flying. That is the Victoria Tower, named after Queen Victoria when she opened this building in 1852. Now, past the building, there's a set of steps, and at the top of the steps there's a little hut. That hut is older than Parliament itself. This is part of the original palace which was here before this one. Now, many years ago, if you were found guilty of treason to the crown, they would try you in the Palace of Westminster. If you were found guilty, you were put in that hut for 1 day and 1 night. A local waterman would row you from the steps down the river to the Tower of London, and you went through Traitors' Gate to be imprisoned or executed there. And as we get down to the tower, we'll point that out for you, okay? The tide on the river at the moment is slack. Look at the water, it's not going either way. Very shortly the tide is going to start flooding. So for the next 5.5 hours the tide is coming in. And the rise of tide here, remember it in the film. The castle-like building on our right, just behind the trees there, can you see that? That's Lambeth Palace. That's the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury. Then in front of us on the right you can see the red brick buildings. They're the famous old St Thomas's Hospital. There were 5 of these buildings here. 2 were destroyed during the war. But this is where Florence Nightingale founded her famous school of nursing. And you might know, and I'm talking to myself for an hour, so I'll go home and talk to myself. My wife doesn't listen to me when I get home, so if you listen, that'd be nice. It would be nice. Now, folks, as I say, the tide will go right up to the Lion's Mouth. The River Thames is 220 miles long. 67 miles of the river is tidal. About 30 miles in front of the boat is the open sea, and 37 miles behind you is a place called Teddington, which is tide-ending town. And then from Teddington Lock to the source, the river is non-tidal. Westminster Bridge is the only bridge on the river to have 7 working arches. The riverbed is very soft. Extra arches are put in to keep the bridge up. Any less arches, the bridge would collapse. Now, as we go through Westminster Bridge, if you've got your cameras ready, I'll try and point some nice pictures out for you. So as we go through, if you look back at the clock tower, then very shortly behind the clock you'll see Westminster Abbey. You can see the statue of the lady on the chariot. That is Queen Boadicea. She was the queen that fought the Romans out of this country. And so the clock, the statue, and then in the background very shortly you'll see the 2 Hawksmoor towers of Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey has stood there for close to 1,000 years, and many royal weddings, state funerals and the crowning of King Charles took place there earlier this year. So William the Conqueror was crowned King of England there 1078 in Westminster. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the London Eye is 450 feet tall. From the wheel today they will charge £45. So the price of the tickets are very high. Bear in mind that is 23 years ago. On the left we have the Tattershall Castle. See the Golden Eagle just before the ship there? That's the Royal Air Force War Memorial. Commemorates the men, the women and all the allies that gave their lives in the First and Second World War. Tattershall Castle is a floating pub. The lovely Gothic building there is Whitehall Court. That is home to the 5-star Royal Horse Guards Hotel and part of the Liberal Club. The bridge in front of the boat is Charing Cross Railway Bridge. The train station is the modern building on the left. Running under the river from Westminster, under the boat here is the London Underground. The Jubilee line extension goes from Westminster over to Waterloo on our right. So the footbridges were built to celebrate the Queen's 50th year in 2002. I always recommend if you see anyone on a bridge, do wave and smile to them, okay? Some people are quite friendly and they'll wave back. Some people are quite miserable and they won't wave, okay? But if you wave to them, that's nice. It will stop them throwing anything at you as well.
Nag-wave box, you know.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through the bridge on our right, we have a little pier here where some people are waiting to get on the boat. But what we'll do is we'll stop, they'll jump on and we'll continue. So this will only be very brief. On the right-hand side of the boat, we have the Royal Festival Hall. This was built in 1951 for the Festival of Britain. Now, Frank Sinatra, Shirley Bassey, Pavarotti, they all perform live here on our right. The South Bank is arts and entertainment. We've got the Queen Elizabeth Hall, the Purcell Room is on the right. There's some good street entertainment along here, some little restaurants and a food market just behind the buildings here on the right. So we've just got a few passengers here, just bear with me 2 seconds and I'll be back. Thank you for listening so far and I'll be back in a moment.